From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gerry Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and Liuna.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick, coming to you once again this week from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we continue our Business at the Brickyard series all month long. We are in Gasoline Alley at IMS, which is really where it all happens during the month of May. It all comes together: the speed, precision, cutting-edge technology, strategy sessions, and last-minute adjustments, all to prepare these high-priced machines to compete. How high-priced? Well, a Dallara chassis, as an example, runs about $350,000. A Honda or Chevy engine lease, more than $1 million per season. It's estimated the total value of the 33 cars in the field is well over $100 million. And that's just the equipment. Doesn't include salaries, logistics, R&D, marketing, and a number of other costs. And joining me now is Rollie Helmling. Rollie, a longtime motorsports insider and executive, one-time head of USAC, based here in Indianapolis, big promoter of the sport around the globe. Rollie, thanks for joining me.
Gary, it's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
You bet. Hey, you know, people look at the impact of motorsports, the business of motorsports, how substantial it is in Indianapolis and even more broadly Indiana. But beyond that, globally, you talk of three centers of influence, really, when it comes to motorsports around the globe.
Sure. There are three centers of influence, as you say, that are very significant in the industry. However, they compete, but not totally. The first one would be in the center of the UK.
We are in the United Kingdom at the Silverstone circuit.
Around the Silverstone circuit. The Silverstone circuit is the Indianapolis Motor Circuit. The second center of influence or excellence for motorsports, of course, would be Charlotte. And of course, Charlotte is very NASCAR-centric, very stock car-centric. Then when we come to our home, Indiana, we are much more diverse. Obviously, we're here at this magnificent facility that does so much to brand the state of Indiana and the city of Indianapolis. But not only are the bulk of the IndyCar teams here, but much of the industry is here. And then you couple that with a very significant presence with drag racing, with the National Hot Rod Association, which owns Indianapolis Raceway Park, and then the open wheel portion.
Spot side by side down the backstretch.
And that's all the cars that race on the little dirt tracks, of which we have 50 in Indiana. And so when you couple IndyCar, drag racing, and open wheel short track racing, we are very diverse here. And it certainly brings a great element to our economy. And in addition to that, it also creates a lot of jobs with a very vibrant supply chain.
Yeah, as you look at the investment here in Indianapolis and around the state, $50 million in improvements here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You've got F1, the teams. You believe this is really one of the hottest times for motorsports that you've seen.
Oh, it really is. When we stop and think about it, when we look at what Andretti, TWG Global, Cadillac is doing to bring Formula One here, this will truly be the only U.S.-based Formula One team. The impact of that is so significant between the new facility in Fishers, what they're doing on the north side of Indianapolis with the former Star Printing facility, and then we have a new IndyCar team called Prima, which has come from Italy. We're adding almost 800,000 square feet of additional race shop, primarily on the north side of Indianapolis.
When you talk about those jobs, the engineers, the technicians, the science, technology, engineering, and math educated, those are jobs that pay above the average.
They sure are. For the most part, they're about 120% of the state average. And these are very highly educated technical people.
As you look at strengths, I think you've talked a little bit about some of those strengths here now, but is there one thing that really sets Indianapolis and Indiana apart from competitors?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is the brand. You know, people associate Indianapolis and Indiana with the 500, and that's worldwide. Another thing that I think is a very valid point about what motorsports brings to our community and our state is the technology transfer. When we look at what we learn from motorsports and how it can apply to other industries such as advanced automotive, aviation, aerospace, high-tech materials like composites. And then we also look, there's a very close relationship between motorsports and the defense industry. So it brings a lot more here than just the races.
How about challenges? What are the threats to Indianapolis and Indiana from a competition standpoint?
Well, from a racing competition, I'd have to say Formula One. Now, the recent uptick in Formula One, now with 3 F1 races in the United States. Of course, we saw one just recently in Miami, which was very popular. What's Indiana?
Well, as we wrap up, what about promotion, marketing, if you will, of that brand of Indianapolis and Indiana? How important, how critical is that going forward?
You know, it's very important because we sometimes, I think, underestimate the value of the brand and what motorsports brings to our state. It's a very significant industry. And so not just all of us who are racing enthusiasts, racing fans, but our entire state needs to totally be promoting this very unique industry and exciting events that we have that are unique to Indiana.
Rollie Helmling, always some great perspective.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.